trees and down a long driveway sits a quaint house made of age-darkened wooden boards. Rows and rows of apple trees stretch far into the distance, bordered by a small patch of blueberry bushes. The only noise comes from the grinding of tractor wheels against the gravel path and the deep rumbling of the engine. Brian Smith stands at the edge of the first row of trees. "I find fruit trees fascinating and beautiful," he says as he turns toward his property. This is Solebury Orchards, situated at 3325 Creamery Road in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Brian Smith is the owner of this farm and has been since 1985. Solebury Orchards produces cherries, apricots, pears, plums, blueberries, peaches, and apples. Using these apples, Solebury Orchards also produces apple cider and applesauce, as well as apple cider donuts. Brian Smith bought this land from Cornell University in 1985, when it was used to grow crops of corn and soybeans. He is a first-generation farmer who said that he started the farm because of his interest in fruit trees. Before he bought this farm, Smith had a small plot where he experimented with the care of trees. This gave him enough experience to start his own farm. "I got interested in gardening," he said, and then it just expanded into fruit trees. What Smith does every day depends on the season, but no matter what time of year it is, he works about 15 hours per day. During the fall, he picks apples and tends to the apple trees. During the winter, when not much is growing, he makes the apple cider and applesauce. In the busiest parts of fall, as many as 50 to 60 bins of apples can be harvested per day. Some of these apples are sold, and others are used to make apple cider and applesauce. To make the applesauce, the apples get run through a sizing machine that sorts out the smaller ones to be used for the apple products. The smaller apples are then taken, peeled, and cored. The apples are boiled and pressed and then stored. The apples that make it through the sizing machine are put into cold storage. All 80 acres of Solebury Orchards is tended by about 40 people. About 8 people work full-time year-round. In the spring, summer, and fall, about 10 people work full-time. To breed the trees as they want, Solebury Orchards uses splicing. To get an apple tree, they don't plant an apple seed. Instead, the first step of splicing is to get rootstock. The rootstock that Solebury Orchards uses makes the tree smaller and more productive. If the tree is smaller, it doesn't take as much time to grow as a regular tree would, but it still produces the same amount of fruit. The next step is to take a bud of whatever type of apple tree that you want and put it near the base of the rootstock. When the bud has grown into the tree, the top is cut off and that variety of apple tree starts growing. After growing for about 3 years, the young trees are transferred to their permanent location and start to develop fruit. In total, Solebury Orchards produces about 30 different types of apples. They sell about 70% of their products at their market and sell the rest locally. Solebury Orchards also offers pick your own for apples and cherries. Smith said that he loves his job, even when there is a lot of work to be done. Although he enjoys being a farmer, his least favorite part of the job is that he works with perishable produce. He has to make sure that the fruit is processed and either sold or put into cold storage before it goes rotten, and he has to deal with pests like fungi. When asked what his favorite part of the job was, Smith's answer was simple. "I just enjoy being outside and viewing the landscape," he said.